Welcome, everybody, to UFO Man Live. My name is Tim. Tonight, we have a very special guest returning to our show for the third time. So, we're very happy to have her here. In just a second, I will introduce her. But on our panel, we have our co-host, Nicole Weber.
Hello.
We have a new panelist tonight, Gabber Beast TV, returning for his second visit to UFO Man Live. Welcome, Gabber. Down below me is my good friend Nos.
Good day, everyone. Thank you.
To the right of Nos is Nancy Timms, a UFO powerhouse in her own right. Odessa is the maven of the chat room. She will field all your questions for Elena and for the panel so that we can answer the best we can to the best of our knowledge. Okay, I want to introduce Elena Danaan. Very difficult to introduce this lady because she's so talented and she is skilled in so many areas. So what I'm going to do is put up a little blurb so I can read it. Elena Danaan is a field archaeologist who spent many years working in Egypt and France. She is a hereditary shaman. She also studied pagan spirituality, magic, and alchemy. She was trained and ordained as a druidess. She's been an extraterrestrial contactee since childhood. Elena Danaan became an emissary for the Galactic Federation of Worlds. Her world bestsellers, A Gift from the Stars, We Will Never Let You Down, and The Cedars have marked our times and inspired millions. Please welcome Elena Danaan.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Okay, tonight we're going to start out probably at the very beginning. So people who don't know who you are will begin to understand how your story started, Elena. Could you start with your earliest abduction account, what happened to you, and how it all progressed up till today?
Well, when I was a little girl, 9 years old, I was abducted by gray aliens from Zeta Reticuli and rescued in a process by Nordic extraterrestrials from the Galactic Federation of Worlds. I didn't know at the time they were part of this amazing federation at galactic scale. They were a group of Nordic extraterrestrials who rescued me as a little girl. They healed me and they brought me back to Earth. But then during the years, all my life, they kept physical contact with me. So all that I have experienced and I still continue to experience, it's always physical. I do not do astral travel. I could, but I don't. That's a difference, with other many people who have other kind of experience. I go on spaceships. I am teleported. People come teleport to me. They don't do this anymore. They were doing that when I was a child because I don't know, times were different. They could do it, but it's physical. And I embrace my mission since 2018 as an emissary for the Galactic Federation of Worlds, this organization in which these people are working. I have a karmic link with one of them, or Thorhan, which explains why he was there to rescue me. And my mission is not limited to the Federation. In the process of recovering my memory to rediscover who I am, I was put in contact with other groups of galactics, and notably the 9 who are plasmic supraconsciousnesses who are direct manifestation of Source Creator. Well, a lot to say about them. Also the Intergalactic Confederation, envoys from this incredible organization who are part of a group of scientists that gathers 24 different cultures, or representatives of 24 different cultures, the Cedars. One of them, Una, is also of my soul cluster. So that's interesting. That's why, and also I reconnect with a very old friend. His name is Iya. He's an Anak or Anunnaki, if you prefer. So all of this happened in the midst of 2020 and 21. But the contacts with Thorhan and his crew was since I was 9 years old. So that's my background regarding ET contacts.
Okay, is this the Galactic Federation?
Yes, so that's from my website. Yes, that's the contact, my contacts, yes.
Okay, Thorhan is up there on the
On the
top
right.
and I noticed that Val Thor is down on the bottom there.
Yes.
He was the one that supposedly walked the halls of the Pentagon for a while and
Yes.
was a visitor on Earth.
Yes, he's not a close friend of mine or really a regular contact, but he, I got in contact with him it was in 2021 for in my work, to pass on messages. So I saw him regularly since when I attend meetings upstairs. And I've been twice visit his house, and his wife is really, really lovely, Gillian. So that's my contact with him.
So I noticed that you're also in contact with Middle Earth.
Yes. So the contact with Middle Earth is something quite interesting. This person, Archaeologist, is someone.
Sorry.
Yes, Archaeologist is someone who is the caretaker of the bloodline of the body in which I incarnated. When you incarnate, you borrow bloodlines, you experience a new bloodline. And so this person, Archaeologist, is a caretaker of this bloodline. And is in fourth density, lives in inner Earth, because the bloodline is there's a strand of this bloodline which is from the Elena Danaan, who are a fairy people, and he's part of them. So he welcomed me when I was a baby. He welcomed me, and that was quite interesting. He said, "Here is the woman you are going to incarnate into, and I am the caretaker of this bloodline, so I'll take care of you." That was quite interesting.
Cool. I guess I have one last question, then we'll move down the panel. My question is, what is your primary mission in regards to the Galactic Federation of Worlds?
Being the relay of their messages to the civilians. So I do not work at a government level. I work for the civilians. So I am going to pass on messages from the Federation to the civilians of Earth. That's my mission. So anything that can help them, or intel, or things that are going on.
Good. Okay. Nicole.
It's all very fascinating. I was wondering if you could go into a little bit more on your communication process. Is it more of a channeling, or is it more? I know you said that when you met upstairs with Val Thor and his wife. If you could kind of go into detail about that also.
Yes. So I do not do channeling, although I could. I do not do channeling because I don't need to, and it's quite dangerous. I just really warn people not to do channeling because well, that's a long topic. It's very dangerous. You open a door and you don't know what's coming. But so my contacts or my communications are either via technology or either via physical encounters. There are, when I say technology, I'm using a communicator that I have in my body. Otherwise, with some of them, and with Thoron as well, we can not use the communicator also. We can have a telepathic conversation as well. So it's quantum telepathy, you know, so no matter the distance, it works. Thoran, Una, or Ia. I never use implant with Ia or Una. The implant, I use it for the personnel of the Federation, which are attuned to it.
Okay,
Okay,
can you talk
Nancy?
about a little bit more when you said you went upstairs? Did you actually mean like physically go up? And you said you were at like Valthor's house. I'm just wondering what kind were you on? I guess, can you describe the plane that you were on at that moment, like when you were going through that? Like, where
So
is upstairs? Can you define that?
upstairs, what I call
Okay.
upstairs, is out of Earth atmosphere, off planet.
Okay.
It can be anywhere. Can be anywhere. When I went to Venus, I went on a spaceship, so I was picked up on a scout ship from my house, teleported, and then we took our time because we could have been there in seconds, but they really wanted me to enjoy the trip. So we went around the sun and came back and went to Venus, passing through the atmosphere. It was very interesting because the atmosphere of Venus is lethal, absolutely lethal. It's acid, it's burning acid. So the ship is not in danger, you know, it's just for living organisms, which is dangerous. So, but there are acid-based life forms that live in the Venus atmosphere. That's very interesting. So we passed through a hole in the clouds, and the ground it's so hot that it's blurry. It's moving and blurry visually. It's so hot. So you can't really have all the details, but there's a very sharp rocks. What I've seen, valleys, it's very sharp, very like a young landscape, which is not young, but it looks like it geologically. And so then we enter into a tunnel because all the habitats are underground. There are underground cities there. It's absolutely incredible. So many underground cities. That's where people live, and they're all colonies from different origins.
Thank you.
We do have a question from the chat room. I don't know how to put it because I don't know how it applies. All right, here we go. How are the members of the Galactic Federation elected, and do we have a member from Earth? Is there a galactic member per species, or how do they become a member?
So you have, there are no Earthlings in the Federation organization because Earth is not, sorry, yet part officially of the Federation, so it's not yet represented. Although the Federation works with Earth, as the Earth Alliance. But so how it works, yes, every culture, planetary culture, is represented. So there is a lower council with which is well, you have one representant by culture. It's hundreds of thousands representatives. It's a lot. And then you have, that's a lower council. And then you have the higher council, which is a council of 24, 23 plus the herald. It's always a special number, 24, because it relates to the geometry of the universe. It's cosmic geometry. So 24, and these are elected representatives for sectors of the galaxy. It changes all the time. Well, not all the time, regularly. So that's how it works.
Who elects them, though?
The people under them, it goes from the people of the cultures, and it goes up, you know.
Oh, okay. I was thinking some, like the Council of Nine may have had some influence in electing the members of Galactic Federation of Worlds.
So when you say the Council of Nine, there isn't such a thing. There was a Council of Nine long ago, before the Orion Wars, that became a bit decimated and became the Council of Five, and now is back to the Council of Seven.
Okay.
But maybe you refer to the Nine, the plasmic supraconsciousness.
Yeah, the Nine.
Yes, 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 yes. So they don't intervene in these matters. They more intervene into the structure of the universe and the laws of evolution, and but they're not involved in organizations of people organizations.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
Nancy.
Yes. You mentioned in 2018 you assumed the role of an emissary. Did something occur, or what indicated that to you, or did something happen? Or I'd like for you to explain that.
So I hadn't had contact for about 2 years with them, or maybe a little bit more. And I lived in Ireland at the time, and still. One night in November, it was in a night of November 2018. I lived at the time on a harbor on the coast of the Atlantic Ocean, and something drew me to go out on the seafront, and I saw these two scout ships passing with the plasma emission. It was green and really doing like eights, like showing themselves to me, playing view, 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 and then they shot off south like rocket. And I went, wow, you're back in my life. And I was so emotional. I went, oh my goodness, that's you. I recognize the ships. That was amazing. It hadn't happened for a long time. I was missing being on board and, doing trips. So I was so happy. And in the night, they beamed me on board one of the ships. And that's when I learned specific things that I can talk about now. But before, I need to say that this night is known in Ireland as the Shannon incident, because two commercial planes have seen these UFOs, these scout ships, and there are famous recordings in the ufology field. It's known of commercial planes pilots talking about it. Oh, I'm seeing UFO, etc., etc. So I was on board, and I met again with Orhan, Valnek, and all the team, and they told me now things extraordinary are going to happen on Earth, and it's amazing, it's great, and Earth is going to be liberated, and we're here for that and be part of it. And it's your time. We are going to reactivate your memory that was blocked. So they explained to me that my abduction by Grace, they obscured it from my mind when they rescued me, because it was so traumatic. And now they were giving me back my memory, which have occurred through dreams afterwards, but the dreams were too unbearable, so I decided to do hypnosis, and it came back to hypnosis. On board that ship that night, they told me that I had a mission, and I was going to have a work with the Federation. And one of Valnek said, yes, that's she'll have a work with the Federation. And I went. At that time, I was so forgetful. I mean, I remember saying to them, what? There's a Federation? Like in Star Trek? Anyone like, oh, girl, you've got to remember. And I eventually remembered. And from that moment, November 2018, through to 2021, it's been to me a process of remembering who I am. So when I became public with my story of abduction, through to that day now, it seems I'm not the same person, you know what I mean? But the thing is, I remember, I was in the process of remembering who I am, and all this work I have done for the Federation, working together. That was amazing, and it continues.
Awesome. Thank you.
Okay, Nos.
Well, since you're working on the civilian communication side of the equation, then let's give the civilians some communication. What is the main message that the public needs to get? Because you handle a lot of the cultural anthropology stuff, preparing them for dealing with the others that are out there. But for humanity themselves, what is the message they need to get so that they can start moving in the right direction instead of the wrong?
Yes. The main message is to find back your own power. You need to stop being distracted by the fear-porn agendas, by the manipulation of the governments and the medias. It's easy to say, but there are so many people who are still under this influence, and the religions who are also a makeup of the deep state. We need, as humans on Earth, to stand up for our sovereignty and do the work of going inside of ourselves to find who we are. And that's very important, because once we find our own power, who we are invincible, and we are not manipulated anymore. It's impossible to manipulate us when we discover who we are. And when a human being of Earth discovers who they are, it's a power plant. It's a power plant. And the consciousness, it's going to allow you to access to the true knowledge, because humans need to realize they are a fractal of Creator Source. And when they realize that, they directly open the connection to Creator Source, and they have access to the knowledge of the universe. Seek and you find. So that's the main message of the Federation. Stop being distracted, giving into distractions and fear agendas. Please make the work, do the work to ignite your own power.
So focus is really what we need. Focus.
Yes, focus. Yes.
Kuna Russo in chat says, connect with inner space. It's an inside job.
That's it. You have all the answers are to be found through inside of you. Through meditation, there are different techniques, but it's the most simple technique of all is to just relax and to go within by your consciousness and discover who inhabits this body. That's the most simple. And once you discover who inhabits this body, you tune into the frequency. Once you become who you are inside these envelopes, you become to vibrate at the frequency of this light being that is inside of you, that is you, the real you. And once you vibrate at this frequency, you are in a higher frequency of consciousness, and you start to activate the DNA of these envelopes. And these envelopes are very important, because these flesh envelopes are the compound of 11 from 11 up to 22 different extraterrestrial genomes. So once all this is activated, you have a connection with all the DNA bonds that are in your body. For instance, you have DNA traces from, I don't know, to be simple, Tal Pleiadians. So the DNA is an aerial, is an antenna. So it's going to quantumly, by frequency resonance, to connect to the frequency resonance of the Tal people. And if you have you know, you can connect, you can access knowledge. It's absolutely incredible. These bodies are the result of an extraordinary experiment, and it's an honor to inhabit them for a while. It's an honor to borrow them. Absolutely an honor. And the greatest honor is to be here to serve, what I speak in my case, to serve the people of Earth, the real Earthlings, because I'm not from here, but many are from here. We came, me and all those who are in the same situation, we came to help these Earthlings to awaken to their true own power. And the souls, the Earthling souls born from this Earth matrix, these are the most important things. These beings, these souls born from the Earth matrix and inhabiting avatars from the Earth matrix, that's boom, that's explosive. That's an incredible race. And once these are fully activated, oh my goodness, they will become a race so evolved that they will teach us, they will teach everyone, they will become so wise and so elevated in consciousness. And the deep state and regressive extraterrestrial races surely don't want that to happen. And they want all to understand this DNA, hybridize their species in these DNAs. You know, DNA is a currency anyway in the galaxy, but that's another story. Yeah, so can talk hours, so I let you ask questions.
Okay, Gabber.
Hello, everyone. I'm very honored to have the opportunity to chat with Elena and listen to Elena's sharing of infinite mysteries of the universe today. I'm very grateful to this channel for giving me the grand interview opportunity. I'm the #1 foreigner in China on the platform Bilibili for the UFO and alien topic. I share a lot of Elena's work because my work confirms her information and vice versa, and I encourage open discussion. I'd like to ask a question from one of my fans from China. They spammed my WeChat all morning, and I answered 90% of the questions for you already to save you the work. What alien races have had positive or negative influences on Chinese history and modern times, and what important agendas have they participated in?
It's a very good question.
I'm not knowledgeable in this. I wouldn't be able to answer what race, especially when you see all the different features on Earth. That's absolutely obvious that there are different ET influences. The Chinese, the Asian people, what I know, not especially for the Chinese, but for the Asian people, the Asian type genetics, okay? This has genetic ancestry a lot in the Sirius B star system with the Tashkeru people. They share absolutely the features of the Asian people when you see them.
I remember you saying this. Yes, it was very, 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 very interesting. Yeah, because I just come back from Chengdu in China. I was in China for a month a week ago. I was at the Alien Mask Museum, and they're very, very interested in learning about why their masks look like aliens. I captured it all in 4K 360-degree video. I'll have to share a lot later. And the hieroglyphics, it looks to me like Olmec. This is a pit. They found 2 pits from 1500 to 2000 BC, and it's covered in hieroglyphics, and the art style is like Olmec Aztec art style, very, very, very similar, and the hieroglyphics are very, very similar to the Aztec and Egyptian hieroglyphs, but it's all a mystery. They don't know why this is here, and it's not recorded in traditional Chinese written history. it's an amazing place in Chengdu, the Shengdai Museum. Amazing place. I really enjoyed going there.
I'd love to go. Yeah.
Yeah.
So my
I love
bucket list, yeah.
ancient history. I love learning ancient history about you. I love when you explain with your archaeological work, Egypt, and in your books. I really love learning ancient history and learning it from you. I think it's amazing.
Thank you. Thank you. Well,
Thank you.
yes, that's a lot of research, and thank you. Thank you.
Welcome.
Odessa.
Yeah, so we have a question from Tim Smith. A little off topic, but I think it's interesting. How will trade work on the Jupiter Hub for people of Terra? Will people be able to access the goods and services of our galactic allies? And what kinds of goods and services might they share with us? Do you have any insight on that?
The trade will be, so yeah, anyone from this star system will be able to trade their goods with no tax. It's for the people of the star system. The hub is to benefit the people of the star system, not any government, not any organization, the people. That's what a hub in a star system is for, is to grow the economy of the star system. But anyone from outside who would come to sell goods will be taxed, and this tax will go to the economy of the different planets who are trading with the hub. So, and it will go for the people. So that's that's a beautiful thing. I think that's a blessing, you know, that's absolutely a blessing.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So the goods, I haven't been on a deep space hub yet, but I've been on Thorhan's mothership, and there are shopping. There's a shopping mall, a small one. There are a few shops. I won't call it a mall. I've seen food, clothes, technology device, food, clothes, technology device, jewelry. That's pretty much what I've seen. But then on the hub, that will be so much more.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Okay, I got a question for you. In regards to the mothership, all right, or any of the spacecraft that you have been on, can you give kind of a description on size or how big they are, or what they look like? Were they cylindrical? Were they discs? Were they rectangular? Kind of give us an idea of what they might look like.
Okay, so the scout ships of the Federation, that's where I've been a lot. The scout ship are like what we call the flying saucers. So there will be a disc, and with a bump on the top and a bump on the bottom. But the bump on the bottom is more flat, and the bump on the top is rounder. They are silver, like chrome silver, beautiful. Like you don't see one window, you don't see one opening. They are absolutely glossy, beautiful. And these ones, so that's the scout ships of the Federation. You have also the Excelsior, one of the what the Earthling called the Excelsior. I mean, the ETs do not give names to their ship. Okay, it's a code XL6 that has been interpreted as Excelsior by the Solar Warden people. Anyway, so that's a mothership. That's one of the motherships of the Federation that is on orbit of Earth. It's a battle station, and this one I describe it in my book, second book. I did a drawing of it. I think the best I show you, because that's the best. I need to find out very quickly. It's like it's undescribable. I need to show you the drawing. It's give time to find it.
You have time if you want.
Okay, I'll find it, because
you go right ahead, because it's important that we know what you know to some extent.
Absolutely. So That's so it's this one is a battle station, but you have many. Here we go. You have 4 of them. Oh, the page is gone. Okay, here we go.
Okay.
That's it. And there was a photo that was taken and released. That one of them. That's not the same. You see that with the
Right.
little scout ships. That's the Excelsior. That's where Thoran. It's a battle station. That's where Thoran works. I've been on cylindrical cargo ships. So these ones are very interesting because these ones are owned also by the U.S. Navy Solar Warden program, but they were also given to the Dark Fleet, the Nachtwaffen, by a different group of extraterrestrials. These cargo ships, these cylinder big, they're huge, they're really huge. They serve to transport the little scout ships. So the little scout ships are unable to perform too much long distance. These cargo ships are going to teleport. They work by opening a portal and teleporting in another place. So that's very easy transport. I've been in one of them. I visited one of them. It was very interesting. So the openings, sometimes the openings are like rectangular with bit rounded angles, like portholes, but most of the time they're triangular. So the scout ships are going to enter one side, they're going to slide and park, and they're going to go out the other side. And on the top you have the habitat, and in the bottom you have hangars. Ships can be repaired or whatever. So that was very interesting, very interesting.
Okay.
And other ships have been also spherical shuttles. Yes.
When you show the 2 pictures, all right, you show the battle station. And I do have a question about that. But for a moment, Sightings on 18 Wheels commented, wait, that's the arc below the battleship. He's talking about the arcs that are being activated around the world.
No, this picture was taken behind the moon. And
Moon.
it's not an arc, but it could be. It could look like an arc, but it's a station of the Federation. Yeah.
Okay, why is a battle station in the galaxy, our galaxy? Why is his ship a battle station?
That's something that we need to realize, that war is everywhere. The duality of the soul is something that is universal. Evolution involves that conflicts will allow trigger evolution to work. Everywhere in the universe you have wars, you have conflicts. So there are space fleets, you have wars, and in our star system, this star system needed to be liberated from invasive races such as the Sika reptilians, the Nebu Greys from Orion. They needed to be rescued. Earth needed to be rescued. So these different ships were there to first protect Earth, and then to get involved when the moment will come, when everything will be ready, getting involved to kick out these regressive extraterrestrials. And that happened.
Okay.
That's why there are actually 2 battle stations and 2 others who are more logistic and science ships.
Was the original battle the first battle with the Nebu?
The Nebu, yes. So the first battle was to kick out. They did that by location and type of enemy. The first was to liberate the moon, because the moon had certain technology that were broadcasting nasty stuff to Earth, and that had need to be cut. And taking the moon was a strategic move first. The moon was occupied by the Nebu Greys and the Dark Fleet. Dark Fleet means Earth, Fourth Reich Nazis, and reptilian, Draco-reptilian, Sikaar. So these were kicked out of the moon in 2021. And then it was Mars. And parallel to that, on Earth, in the underground, the Earth Alliance was working at clearing the undergrounds from Nebu Grey and Draco-reptilian occupation, and also bad human military organization as well. That's a lot that was going on. So Mars was liberated. First, its two satellites. They first liberate the satellites and then the planet. The way they work is to, because you have a prime directive that will forbid, by the laws of evolution, forbid to intervene in the development of a species. So you will have a solution, a plan B, which is to train the local populations to save themselves. So giving them the means, the weapons, the technology, training them. That's what the Federation did on Earth with Solar Warden, helping creating this space program, Solar Warden, for space Earth defense.
Right.
And
Yeah.
Mars. They create the Mars Alliance, where they empower the Martian resistance. That's what they did.
Okay, we have a question from Sightings on 18 Wheels. He's wondering if that cargo ship you're talking about, does it produce any smoke around the outside or some type of vapor or cloud?
So it doesn't produce any smoke, properly speaking, but so when it's about to teleport, to go, or even gliding in the atmosphere, it can produce, you can see a haze around it, which is due to the ionization of the particles of the atmosphere. These ships work by torsion fields. And torsion field is an electromagnetic field that is produced by the engines of the ship. And this electromagnetic field, it's a double torsion field. It's cross torsion field that is going to cancel the mass of the ship. But it's so powerful that the cross dynamics will ionize the air around the ship. So when they are in space, there's no ionization because there's no atmosphere. But when they are in an atmosphere, there's an ionization, and that can be translated by a blurry. That's why when you try to photograph UFOs, it's always blurry. It's a torsion field, or you can see a orange or green haze, or kind of sometimes clouds. You can have condensation when the atmosphere is quite cold. You can have condensation and a cloud is around it.
So what is actually powering these ships is the frill generator, right? A form of it.
Yeah, form of it. Yes, it's the same technique. So you have to have three process in navigating a ship. You have the power supply, you have the flight mechanism, and you have the navigation. Okay, you power the ship, you give a power supply, then you need to move it, and then you need someone who is going to decide where to move it. So that's
okay.
Three things.
I just wanted to show this. That's not the one. Well, anyways, I had a picture. Here's a picture of a crystal that has. What's another word for the eye? The eye that creates in the middle of the crystal generates frill, correct?
Yeah. So the eye is a vortex. It's a singularity that opens by compression. When you send compression waves, it opens this eye, as we call it. The compression waves can be thoughts, because thoughts are scalar wave of compression. Gravity waves, it's the same. It can be physical pressure, or a pressure given by an electrical pulse. And when it's done at a regular frequency interval, it's going to stimulate at one point this eye, and this eye is going to open, and it's going to harvest the energy that is around, the etheric energy that is around. What is this etheric energy? This etheric energy, you know, the ether is the medium of space. The ether is, there's no void in space. It's filled with particles, and it's called the ether. And the ether has these dormant particles of energy, okay? And it's there. When compression waves pass through it, it's going to activate these particles, and these particles are going to, being activated, they become a source of energy, and that's the frill. And you just need to harvest it. Crystals can harvest it. That's the best way to harvest it. You can also produce it by electromagnetic field as well, with a very powerful magnet. You can do this, but the best are crystals. Quartz is the best to produce frill. It can harvest it, but it doesn't keep it very long. So these crystals are always coupled with what we call the core. The core is red crystals. They're not found on Earth, but you have a type of them that is found on Earth that can work. We call it, it's mercury dioxide. It's the cinnabar crystals, little red. It's very rare on Earth, but it's a parent of these crystals. So
I've actually seen the cinnabars. Yeah,
yeah,
they're very pretty, and they're very sought after. Yes. Okay. What I was going to say is, I had a question about the copper and silver torsion wires that are wrapped around the crystal. One counterclockwise and the other one clockwise.
yes.
How do they stay in place without coming together and, meshing up against each other?
The ones I have seen, they are just coiled around the crystal.
Oh, just coiled that way. Okay, I was seeing it in
And
your
that-
drawings that they were done like this way and then this way to form like an X.
Yes, it forms like an X that crosses at 90-degree angles. Some of my drawings, notably in the cedars, were not rigorously, 90-degree angle, but
Right.
it's how they cross. And with the frill generator, the smaller generator, which is very tricky to get the wires not to touch, they are stuck in a medium, in a tube that is electrically neutral, that is not conductive. So
Right, I gotcha. The
Yeah.
copper ones are covered, insulated, and the silver ones are not. Right?
Yeah.
They're uninsulated.
Yes.
I was reading up on that. If you want to know more what I'm talking about, the information is in detail so far as she has it from the Galactic Federation of Worlds on elenadanaan.org. I'm sure Odessa will drop the link in the chat. But it is necessary for you to go over and look at it. It's entitled The Frill Generator on her page. Take a look at it. It seems to me like, from what Dan Willis told us last week, they actually built an operating model, a small model of the Frill generator. It's actually working. And so it is a legitimate piece of alien technology that has been given through Elena and Dan to mankind. So here's a picture of it. The one on the left is kind of what it looks like. The one on the right shows the size of the crystal that's on the inside.
Yes, and we presented this at the Orlando JC conference last October. But this is available, the blueprints are available on Dan Willis' website. You can access it through my website. When you go to my homepage, you see frill generator. So you click on it, it directs you to Dan Willis' website, which is the webmatrix.com, but you have the direct link from my website. The blueprints are for free, and it's up there for the public. If you want to chance make yours, we absolutely do not want any profit from it. It's a gift from the stars. The importance that it is free out in the public domain, it is of course for humanity, but there's a reason that is more practical. Is because when a blueprint of a new technology has been made freely available to the public, it cannot be patented.
Right.
Okay. And because it cannot be patented, it cannot be blocked. Because if it was patented, the deep state straight away would block the patent and buy. And we cannot do that. So
that's good.
The idea.
See, that's why I was wondering if there was any danger surrounding the fact that you did release that to the public, with how zero-point energy has been blocked so many times, and you know how they're not coming out with that yet. They're coming out with this. This is groundbreaking.
Yeah. Yes, it's it's time people know, and this is available, and just these are the times.
Well, the person that you're talking to directly from the Galactic Federation is younger brother Thorvan, right? And that would be Jenhan.
Jenhan Eredion, yes, he's a terraformer. He doesn't call himself terraformer, he's called himself star maker. That's how they translate it. At the time, 2 years ago, he was finalizing his studies in star making, and he was lately promoted to Mars for his first job on the terraforming of Mars. And I have direct contact with him via technology. So when I say via technology, it means that the implant that serves as quantum communicator that cannot be hacked he has the key, the codes to connect to it. So we have regular communication. So Dan Willis sends me a list of questions, and that also gathers questions from the scientists and the engineers on the teams that who are working for the free research. Most of the questions, I have to say, I go, okay, science. And it was really details of measurements and etc. So I just connect with Jenhan and I read out loud the questions to him, and one by one he's going to reply to me, and I take notes. And once it's done, I send it back to Dan and I say, here we are. And that's how we've been working for now 2 years.
I have one last question. Then I got to move down to Nicole because I know she's biting at the bit here. The question I have for you is in regards to the frill crystal. When the torsion field is activated and it's not done in a sequential manner, and it reaches a peak to where the crystal sings. I read on your page that when it sings, you can hold the crystal in your hand and it will possibly help with healing. Is this the case?
Yes, when a crystal sings, it's overloaded. So the frequency, it emits a frequency that becomes audible. And that's not good because if it starts to levitate, it can explode. But as long as it's not levitating, if you take it in your hand, you can absorb the energy, and it's fantastic and incredible energy that comes from it. When it's saturated and it just gives out, but it has so much in storage that it barely can manage to eject it. So if you help the crystal, you take this energy, this thrill. This is an amazing effect on your health, and it's quite remarkable.
Thank you for answering that. Nicole?
Well, I had a few questions, but they kind of got answered along the way. I guess I just would like for you to go more into, I guess, the healing and crystals are things that people can become attuned to. Also, I heard Tim say frequency and healing frequency, and I was not sure on your take on that also.
Yeah, frequency is the rate of vibration of the particles of matter. So you have different rates of vibration, different speeds of vibration between atoms. And that's the scales of densities of matter. On each universe, you have different scales of densities. So the rate of speed of matter, this frequency, you can change it, you can modify it. When you are sick, you have a disease on your skin, for instance, the frequency at that part is going to be lower. So, and if you have a virus, microbes, or things like it, they vibrate at a certain frequency. All life forms have their own frequencies, and if you find the right frequency, the same frequency, if you identify it, you measure it, you are going to broadcast the same frequency as the microorganism that is infecting you into it, and the two conjugate direction of these frequencies, the frequency waves, are going to cancel themselves. So the microorganism will die.
180 degrees phase cancellation. Same works in audio.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
That's it.
We have a question from Andrew Rollins in the chat. Are some of these frequencies dangerous to third density beings?
Of course, there are dangerous frequencies. Of course, frequencies that can kill. Of course, so you need to be very careful when you start to work with frequencies. You need to know very, very much exactly what you're doing. I have a pulse generator here I use to broadcast frequencies into crystals, but I never go by chance and try to play around with it. Never, ever. I always wait that I am told this frequency, use this frequency, because it can really harm you, kill you even. I've been attacked by frequency beams, so I know what I'm talking about. Nearly died a few months ago.
Wow, we got Lou Elizondo here. Hi guys, just checking in.
Nice to meet you.
Hey Lou. Yeah, his new book is out. That's cool. We had a question. Where is it here? I want to ask that question I saw. They're flying by so fast in the chat room. It's sometimes hard to get. All right, let's see here. Oh, Mark Rogalski asks, and I know the answer to this. Can I buy a Phil energy kit?
You have the blueprints. You need to make it yourself. Nobody sells it. We don't want to sell it.
That's what I said. Yep.
Yeah, it's been made free to the civilians on Earth.
Yes, and if some company want to make money selling it, well, if it benefits humanity, go ahead. That's for you to make your own. You have all the information.
We have a comment from Gabber. No, that's not it. Where did it go? I saw a good one. Oh, here it is from Steve Wolf. Mr. Elizondo knows where to go for the best of the best. Thank you, Steve. We all
Right?
appreciate that.
Yeah, we do.
Okay, Coley, thank you. Anyways, we are going to go to Nancy Timms. Nancy.
Yes. You were mentioning earlier about that you saw jewelry store, clothing store, food store. How do they purchase these things?
Oh, yeah, interesting. So within the Federation, when regarding food and basic life supplies, it's free. But then you have you can sell, you can make commerce in items that are not classed as basic. Yes, sorry, I'm French. Difficult sometimes find the words in English. So these you can make commerce with them, and so the currency is very important because every culture has their different currencies. So there's a universal currency, and it's difficult to get your head around it. It's a quantum frequency, and you gain credits. It's something that's virtual, but you gain credits. Other culture will use physical frequencies, but that's a quantum frequencies. So how do they pay that? There is no artifact like coins or whatever. It's all done by scanning devices where you have your credits recorded in them, that will connect to your virtual credit cloud of currency. I saw many people there buying things by scanning their wrist. So they have a holographic so that's the personnel of the Federation. They have this, if they choose so, a holographic. It's like a holographic sheet that is under the skin. It's like a sheet. It's very, very thin, and you don't feel anything. It's not painful. It's a hologram, holographic technology, and they just scan the wrist.
Would this be similar to Bitcoin or the cryptocurrencies, how they scan the barcodes and it does the transfer of credits, coins?
Yeah, that could work like that. Yes, that could work like that. Yes, that's
Very, very, very interesting.
Yeah,
Where the future of transactions are going, because you can't take $1 trillion to Mars, but you just scan it with a barcode.
Yeah, you spend
barcode.
whatever you need as you know, and they are paid. They have their wage, the transfer to
Very,
their
very interesting. This could be the future.
I was hoping that mankind and civilizations in our galaxy would transcend having a monetary payment system.
Well, as you need, as you need basic supplies, you're going to need to buy them. When you inhabit a physical body, you need to eat, you need to have clothes, you need to drink, you need to buy vehicles or pass to travels as well for commercial flights. So there's going to be a commerce, and there's the Galactic Guild of Merchants as well that exists. It's something that is different. It belongs to no organization. It's an organization in itself, the Galactic Guild of Merchants of this galaxy, Nataru. They have their own rules, but they work with all the other organizations, and they're recognized, and they are appreciated because they have very strict rules, such as no slave trade, no weapon smuggling. And although on the weapon smugglings, they just get around their rules, but strictly no human trafficking. So that's
is there different classes of people that, like, say, is there rich and there's poor and there's middle class, or?
I haven't really. It depends on the culture, It depends on the culture. So certain cultures, everyone has an unlimited amount of not credits, but some others will have a society like in the Federation where you have wage and you earn credits, and other people will have system of caste with royalty or different races in the reptilian races. You have different genetics regarding the different caste. It's very interesting.
Yeah.
Oh,
Thank you.
okay, let's go down to Nos.
Yes. Trying to decide between the question I was thinking about earlier and the other one. But I was going to ask about currency, and it's already being covered.
Leave that to me.
So what you were just talking about with the implant in the wrist, that specifically, it's an integrated circuit that's printed like on an acetate sheet to be implanted. It gives that appearance. And we've got similar things that people have been doing with implants that are transponders like you have in credit cards. But for this particular application, the reason why it needs to be so much bigger than the transponders we've been using is because the encryption is your bioelectrical signature. So by having it in there, it is monitoring you. It's making sure that you are you and have always been you. So any transaction that occurs with it is linked up to the entire history of transactions and the entire history of your bioelectrical signature, which is the encryption. That's how no one else can use it.
Thank you.
But yeah, just throwing that out there.
Thank you.
Okay, before we get into Gabra's question about the soul death traps, I want to ask you this. Rhea F says, great interview. Couple of questions. Do your upstairs friends sleep? Do they eat? If so, do you know how does their menu look like?
Oh, I love these kind of questions. Yes, they sleep, they eat, and everything else. At the moment you are incarnated, in an avatar, in a body, you have physical, biological functions. So, you need to rest. You need to eat, to feed the body and evacuate as well. Let's be practical. Some races, and that's, I haven't come across a lot of them. They don't feed off physical food. They are going to feed only of thrill, for instance. But these are really special species, and some are producing food. They are in self-sustenance system. That is really weird, but I've seen that they produce a substance that they're going to ingest again, and that's how they do. So some I've seen one species. He was taking something from his pocket. He was a humanoid, but he was small. He has kind of a red skin, and he was taking something from his pocket. In fact, no, he had a gland in his hip that he was taking something coming out of it, and he ingested it. And I was explaining, no, he's taking something from his body, actually, that his body rejected, and he's going to re-inject it and transformed chemically by his body. I went, that's weird, but there's everything out there, everything you can imagine and beyond.
We do have one question I have to answer because Odessa keeps pointing it out to me, so I have to ask you this.
Thank you.
How is DNA currency?
Oh, yes. Serious stuff. So, as I explained to you earlier on, DNA is a quantum aerial that is going to connect to the genes that are on the same frequency as this aerial. So, for instance, you have, let's say, as we say on the start, Pleiadian genetics in your body. If someone takes samples of your body with this DNA, they are going to be able to connect to the the AHEL, for instance, Pleiadian frequency, the same frequency of these genes. And they are going to be able to tap into the potential of this species and race. And tapping into this potential is accessing encoded abilities that they can transfer into their own body or the bodies of newborn of their race and get these extra abilities, you know. So that's why samples of DNAs of different races are sold through the universe, and it's a business. And especially the humans of Earth with the between 11 to 24 different DNAs, genes are going to be very, very human, Earth human or Terrahu humans are very, very prized DNA because they contain not only different genomes of this galaxy, but 11 genomes from other galaxies. And these are species that we have here in this galaxy difficult access to, and that is going to be quite prized. That's how DNA is a currency.
I have one more little question. It's from Keegan Collins in the chat. He says, "What do ETs do as hobbies?"
Okay, so also depending on the cultures, what I have experienced myself, I can only speak about my experience. They like to go in nature because they spend a lot of time with technology on board ships. The habitats are ultra modern. That's quite incredible. So they seek for presence in nature. There's something they prize a lot. On board big motherships, you have always areas with parks. That's always you will find that, even on a battle station, because they need that. So they're going to go for walks in nature, and they just walk and go for hikes or go on any planets. That's their favorite, in general, activity. They gather for social games as well, like board games. So they have a lot of different board games, multi-dimensional board games. I've seen that, and I've seen also I would say the equivalent of cinema. It's hemispherical rooms. It's quite big. They would sit on reclining chairs all around like this, and in the middle there would be a sphere that would project a holographic movie. But it's not really movie. They don't do movies with actors. They don't have a cinema industry at all. The movie would be about documentaries on other planets, like animal or nature documentaries, or even historical archives, also about important events. That's it. They like to do that.
Soldier's Voice for Life says it's really late for Elena.
Agreed.
Grateful she's answering these awesome questions. So thank you, Elena.
Absolutely.
We do appreciate
Thank
it.
you. Oh my God, it's 3:15 in the morning here. So
Yes.
yeah, it's very late.
We love
so,
you. We love you, and we thank you. Thank you so much.
Mel Tulip says they love nature. Oh, where was it? Here it is.
Hi, Mel.
Oh, okay. We're going down to Gabber. Gabber, ask your question about the soul trap.
Yes.
I enjoyed your video on the crystals. I had to get one. I didn't have the tuning fork to cleanse it, but I have a tone generator and used my headphones. You've got to work with the tools you have.
Yeah.
I'd like to. I get hundreds of questions about soul traps all the time. Could you please explain the soul trap, death trap, soul recycling system, and how the process from when you're death and you go to the holographic cube, and does this trap still exist? Do you know how to evade the trap? What alien species created this trap that keeps us in this recycling prison system?
Okay. So the soul traps, it's a great technology. Okay.
Naboo?
Fortunately,
Naboo Grey?
Nebu
Naboo?
grade, Eban,
Naboo Grey?
more especially Eban from Betelgeuse. So there has, okay, let me do a little historic of that because it's very important, okay? Let's start by the planet Saturn in this star system, planet Saturn. The planet Saturn was the concession of the negative faction, regressive faction of the Anunnaki, means led by the one known as Enlil and his faction. And in this, so Enlil got custody of Saturn. He gave it quite rapidly to Marduk. Marduk was the son of Enki that had turned to the dark side, taken by Enlil, who turned Marduk against his father. Marduk is Lucifer. He turned against his father, Enki. So Saturn was given to Marduk quite rapidly as a custody. Marduk became someone who really wanted power and was really taken by the dark side. He made an agreement. Marduk made an agreement with the Nebu Greys because the Nebu Greys arrived in this star system and they wanted it, and the Anunnaki say, "Well, no." And Marduk say, "Well, let's do a deal. What do you want? And we can just share profits, and you have interesting technology. Wow, we can just work together. Why not?" And so it was, Marduk made a deal with the Grey Nebu to install on Saturn a great technology. The Nebu, they were interested by harvesting human souls from Earth for the reasons we said. The Nebu installed a black cube on Saturn, a huge technology and I've seen the drone mesh. It's absolutely scary. It's all dead now. It's all inactive. But so
Wow.
how I didn't see the cube because it was destroyed by the Galactic Federation as soon as Enki arrived and opened Saturn to people, and they said, like, walk away, destroy everything. So there was that cube. It was on the North Pole of Saturn. There was a relay on one of the satellite moons of Saturn that's been blown up since. But on Saturn, the planet itself, the planet was being transformed into a frequency generator. There was a network, like a grid of drones. I've seen them. The drones that were broadcasting the cube frequency to the moon of Earth. And on the moon of Earth, that was owned by the Nebu totally at the time, there was a smaller cube that was calibrated to being a soul trap. That means to lock the Earth etheric matrix, and that any soul coming out of it would bounce back to it.
Like a harvester, harvesting the souls.
Yes, a harvester machine. This has been destroyed in 2021. The one on the moon has been destroyed in 2021. And when Enki came back in September 2021, because he came on behalf of the Anunnaki Empire, and he said, okay, we have Saturn. We are giving everything back to you, humans of Earth. Here's the keys of Saturn, so to speak, of course. Here's Saturn to you. It's yours. It belongs to this star system. So the Earth Alliance is actually at the moment in custody of it. And then Saturn was opened to the Earth Alliance and the Galactic Federation, who could destroy everything. So that's how it worked. And now the soul trap doesn't exist anymore. There was a relic because they also have, but that was one mechanism, okay? But they had smaller little ones, okay?
Around the Earth?
Around here. These ones have been destroyed by the Federation as well. But there are two that were left. There's still one on Earth. It's not. It's a bit. It's gonna conflictual to name the place where it is, but let's say that is it's a black cube that is in a sacred place, religious place in the Middle East countries on Earth.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
And
I hear you. I hear you.
that okay. And the Anunnaki in charge of it was the son of Enlil, Ninurta, who's gone as well. And
That
also
explains so much. That
yeah,
explains so much.
Yeah, turning, etc.
Mm.
There's also another one that has been going on for a while. I think it's been dismantled now. It was a soul harvester, and I speak about it in my book, The Cedars, because it's a bit embarrassing to say it, because it upsets a lot of people every time I say this, but I need to say it. It's a psychological operation, if I can name it like this, a fake ship that is a soul, that has been a soul harvester for a long time, and this soul harvester was called the Jerusalem ship.
Jerusalem ship, yes.
Yes, and it was a cube. So that has been
Jerusalem ship was also a cube.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Don't worry about the square in the Middle East. I can explain all that in China. It's not a Chinese sensitive issue, but here we have to like work our words around things.
And it's difficult. It's hard for me to pass on certain information sometimes, because I'm very aware that it can really upset some people, many people, but it's not.
I understand that. But you got to share the truth somehow.
Yeah.
So there is no more soul trap around the Earth.
No.
Oh boy, I'm in trouble.
No.
I've been telling everyone it's still there, and we need to get our scientists together to work out a way to disable it or do something. I have to like correct myself now with my viewers, but thank you for clarifying that. Now I can correct my information very much. I appreciate you explaining that very much. Thank you very much.
No problem.
I'm sorry. One thing I have to say, there are images from the forward-facing orbiting cameras that are filming the sun's corona, where they show giant cubes. What are those?
There are no cubes around the sun. No. The cube technology has been taken out. Any cube technology has been destroyed. So maybe it's flares. I don't know.
The Dark Knight satellite, that has nothing to do with the cubes.
No, that's another more ancient technology. Yes.
Oh,
yes.
That's for part 4. Back when we come back for part 4.
Yeah. Supposed to say bonsoir tout le monde.
Bonsoir. Bonsoir.
Which is good that we had some French in the group here. It was really nice that we had you on tonight, Elena. Let's go down the panel. After I ask Odessa what her question is, we're going to go down the panel and ask for last questions. Odessa?
I had a question and a brief comment. The comment came first, and the comment's from me, and I usually just give you the audience feedback. My comment is, that's the benefit of being here. You can say, without being embarrassed, anything you like, and our audience is not easily offended. I don't want you to concern yourself and worry about response. Everything is fine, I promise you. The question we have is, do you have any predictions on when we'll have open contact, public knowledge, open contact with ETs? We're trying now, I know, but this is the question.
I know.
We're trying.
I know it is imminent, but as long as the deep state is still in place, there are, crumbling organization, but as long as they're still here in place and having influence on people, if there was to be a civilian global contact, okay, with global appearance of ships and global contact.
Mhm.
The deep state would find a way to utilize it as alien invasion scenario, fire at them and tell people that these are alien nasty invaders and we need to fight them and not trust them. So as
Right.
long as the deep state has an influence, they cannot do this because it's going to make horrible chaos. But who gives the deep state influence? It's everyone.
Right.
We need to stop believing everything they say in the fear scenarios. We've been fed with Netflix and Hollywood of alien invasion movies. That's for a reason. For they want
Right.
I agree. I absolutely agree. I'd like to ask you stick around after the show for 5 minutes after we go off air. Just 5 minutes. Thank you.
Yeah.
Can
me
you
too.
explain what we can do to help remove the deep state from power? I get this question many, many times, please.
Stop feeding them. Stop obeying. Stand up for yourself. Stop obeying to what goes against your freedom. When you are asked to give away your personal freedoms, small little personal freedoms, for the greater good of an ideal of humanity, that's
Say
not
no.
right. That's
Say
not
no.
right. Yeah, say no, and stand up. If everyone stands up, they will lose their influence. We need to stop complying, and what is important is fear. We need to stop giving out to fear.
Exactly. Yes, exactly. Was
That's
it
it.
Enlil? Was it Enlil, Enki's brother, who originally created the deep state to keep
Yes.
control on the earth through the shadow government when he left and then
Yeah.
flooded the planet?
Yes.
I do get a lot of questions about the deep state, and I probably got a target painted on my head just like you for exposing them. But you inspired me to expose them and to wake people up and show what's going on. And I would stand next to you, shoulder to shoulder, and die to protect you, so you can keep doing your work. That's what I'm created for. The other sort of questions are like, is the deep state like all lizard people, or is it just the reptilians, the Sakar, that they are controlling the deep state, telling them what to do, type of thing? That's the sort of questions I get.
Yeah, there's been, the pyramid, the famous pyramid. Now it's truncated. The top has been removed. The top was the extraterrestrial overlords. On the top, you had Enlil. But you had left power to Ninurta, his son. You have Enlil, Ninurta, and you had what was a reptilian Sikar overlord. He was called the Pindar, which is a title, and Pindar wouldn't with time not always be the same guy. And under them you would have Sikar executives. So usually you have Gyansar, who are a race of reptilians from Sigma Draconis who are versed in black magic and who would work with dark magic organizations on Earth, and that would really set the basis, because dark magic is really very imbued into the deep state. They use it a lot.
Yes.
And then you have the Illuminati, and you have all the heads of secret corporations. You have the Freemasons, of course, and
work their way down the pyramid. Structure. I was researching this like in early 2000s. I'm like, is it just waking up now? It's 2024, but here we go again. I got to start with the basics and slowly feed them little bits of information to slowly wake them up, because especially in China, it's a closed system, and they're believing all the fake people, and I expose a lot of them as well. And then they're like, oh, that's why I've got a huge following, because of my honesty and just by encouraging open discussion, so that we unlock these mysteries and unlock the truths together by encouraging, open discussion. I learned this, I learned that. Yes, no. It's like it's difficult work, very time consuming. But why am I here? I have no idea. I feel like the universe chose me to do this. If you asked me 3 years ago where I am right now and what I'm doing, I would have told you
That's
you're insane.
crazy.
But like
You
it's like the
chose it.
universe chose me to do this work.
You chose it. You
Mhm.
chose this mission before coming, and I know the ladies are agreeing with me. Yeah, you chose
Absolutely.
it. Yeah,
Yeah,
you
I chose my mission too.
Okay,
Yeah,
I agree.
I'm
I
aware.
agree with
I'm
you
aware
then.
of that. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with what you say.
I mean, coming out as UFO Man is kind of as far out there as you can get in the human world. So it's kind of like I knew I had to choose my mission to be here. So yeah. Okay, let's go to Nicole for last question.
Yeah, I just that made me laugh because I always say like, who would choose to be the UFO
We all did.
person
I
and
mean,
come
most-
out if you were
Yeah.
given that option? So yeah, I'm right there with you. I chose it, and it is what it is. So I would really like to thank Elena for a lot of the information that you brought forward. It's I'm gonna have to go back and re-listen, but it's kind of opened up a lot of avenues, that for other people, and kind of that we just need to remember. I think a major thing that I've learned is we're not all here for the same reason. And so our paths do look different from one another. So I do appreciate your part in disclosure. And that being said, if there's anything that you would like to say, or, any information you'd like to give, then I'd like to open that up to you. But other than that, thank you very much.
Oh, thank you for having me. And so what I want to say to everyone is never to lose hope. Never, ever to lose hope. Hope is the fuel of evolution, is the fuel of victory. Hope is the fuel of victory. Without hope, you will never get to victory. Okay? So the deep state is trying to remove hope from your heart by fear, notably, and manipulation, psychological manipulation. We're going to do this and this to you and this. Stop it. Don't listen. You know who you are. Learn about who you are. And once you realize you're more powerful than them, because if you don't know how powerful you are, they know. That's why they try to block you. So please never let hope out of your heart. May hope guide you into the prosperous future that you are manifesting, you are co-creating by the power of your mind, of a manifestation. You imprint the matrix of reality. You are the creators of the world you want to see. So, and that always only happens when fear is not part of the equation, and hope and love, of course, is here.
So Elena, can you tell us where you can be found online?
So I have a website, Elena
We shared
Danaan.
that
Org,
multiple times tonight. Yes. Yes.
and my YouTube channel, Elena Danaan Official. That's where I share all my videos.
Okay. You also have some books, and I'm going to advertise them right now. Here are 4 of them. Gift from the Stars. We Will Never Let You Down. Cedars, and her newest book that came out last year. I don't know if it's the newest, but it came out last year. Area 51, Discussions with Stephen Chua. Also, I know you have that Galactica book. It's
Encyclopedia.
Encyclopedia Galactica with artwork done by Elena Danaan herself.
Oh, that's got to be a great book. I can't wait to read it.
Yeah, that's a book I'd like to get. Yeah, yep. Anyways, check out our books. They're available on Amazon, in most countries even. But from what I understand, they're not available in China yet, right? You're still working on that with Amazon, are you?
Yes, Amazon doesn't take Chinese language, but I have the manuscript translated in Chinese. So that's the project. Hopefully it will arrive in China.
I'll try find a publisher or a distributor that could help you distribute your book. That will look after you and do right by you. Thank you for having the courage thank you for having the courage and being so brave to actually talk about these topics. you're a very courageous person, and you're so brave. Most people would never speak about this. You got a beautiful heart full of golden healing protective light. I really, really appreciate
Yes.
you being able to have the courage and being this brave to share this information publicly. I don't know how to say this anymore.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Before we go to Nancy, we had to show her last few books here that I wanted to highlight. She is also a fiction writer. She's got a book out called Resilience, Beyond the Impossible, and she has a fantasy series called Shandora. So check those books out as well.
Kalo taxidi in Greek, meaning safe travels for you. Many blessings to you, my friend.
Ευχαριστώ πολύ.
Yasu agapimo.
Okay, we're going to Nancy now, Gabber. Nancy.
Yes. What I would like to know is the Galactic Federation has their own version of a ET embassy or a area where they could come down and be in a safe place, because I think we all know it cannot be where everybody would really want them to be, because it would not be safe necessarily. Do they have a plan?
They have such places on Earth that are not to be disclosed, obviously.
Yes.
They have many different places on Earth that are protected by the military, positive, of course, military of the Earth Alliance. Different places on Earth. It's like diplomatic area. It's very, very secretive. Yeah, they have.
Good. Yeah, I'm glad to know that. And thank you. It's a pleasure to meet you, and I hope I get to see you again sometime. Yes, it's a pleasure.
Love you, Nancy.
Love you too.
Okay, Nas.
All right, everyone. Elena has given you your assignment.
Yes.
You are to rebel against the system. Now, in order to do that, you have to be able to recognize the system. So, in another YouTube tab, look up the name Edward Bernays. He is the founding father of social engineering, the system that is being used against you. Start down that YouTube rabbit hole and move into the modern stuff, where you actually hear from the people that work for the politicians that are social engineers that are choosing what people believe in order to get certain people elected. Work your way through the system so you can understand the system, recognize it, rebel against it.
Agreed.
Because nothing ever got created by conformity.
Right. We need to stand up for ourselves, but still push for unity and collaboration.
Absolutely. Yes. Unite against the man. We've been saying that since, gosh, I don't even know when.
And one thing I really want to push is the most powerful feeling in the world and the galaxy is love. So please reach out with love.
Yes. The binding force of the universe is love. It is a frequency that is experienced by an emotion when received, as in when you are incarnated. And this emotion is love.
Thank you.
Okay, Odessa.
Okay, I personally, I don't usually speak for myself. I just speak for our audience, our viewers. We have a lot of loyal viewers tonight, and a ton of brand new people to our channel that I can only assume are here to hear you. So I would just like to say thank you so much for being here. Thank you for being open and honest and sharing your story. I know that you are a courageous woman. I know you are brave. I know you've been through a lot, and I know you're here. You're not alone. Absolutely not alone. On this panel alone, there are at least 3 others that are right here with you. So understand that you are not alone. And our audience is extremely grateful for your time. Thank you so much for staying up so late. Thank you so much. That's all I have to say.
I have to add to that. When she said there are 3 others, she's talking about hybrids.
Yes, I am.
And what I want to say about that, without revealing who they are, I think there's a lot more hybrids out there than people realize, that they may or may not be a hybrid. They may not understand that they might be a hybrid. So, you know, a lot of people have had their DNA altered. So
Yeah.
you never know. They may have incarnated in
Oh, Folger's voice. Mwah.
from off world. So think
Definitely.
about that. That's something to wrap your head around.
I don't know. My memory got deleted. Probably for a good reason.
Control Alt Delete.
Okay, well, what we're going to do is thank Elena for her time. She has come here at
5 minutes.
She was here actually at 1:30 in the morning, so a half an hour before the show
amazing.
started,
Amazing.
to be with us, to set up the show, and then come on and spend an hour and a half, hour 40 minutes with us. So she's been very gracious, and we want to thank her from the bottom of our hearts, all of us on the panel. Thank you for coming on, Elena.
Thank you.
Show that love, chat. Spam those hearts. Spam those emotes. Show the love, chat.
Right, panel, don't leave. Don't leave yet.
Yeah,
Love you
don't
guys.
leave. Anyways, the other thing I was going to say is, Elena, you're more than welcome to come back a fourth, fifth, sixth time. We love you on this channel. You're more than welcome. Your family, remember that.
Oh. Thank you. I will. With pleasure. Thank you.
Okay. All right. So thank you to everybody who watched online. Thanks to everyone who participated in the chat room. Remember to come back next Wednesday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time or 8 o'clock Central Standard Time, and then you can adjust it from there on. We are presenting Preston Dennett, who is returning for his second interview on UFO Man Live, and we're going to be talking about USOs, where the United States government is really concentrating their efforts on discovering what is beneath our oceans, rivers, lakes, etc.
Would be interesting.
So please come to that interview, and we'll see you on Wednesday. The other thing I want to say is I want to give a shout out to everybody out there who subscribed to our channel, because we finally hit that 40,000 mark. 40,000 subs. At 10:30 this morning, we were at 40,028 when the show started. So thank you very much. Keep on subscribing and liking and sharing us. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Alrighty. Thanks for the sound effect. Liked it, Gabber.
Yeah, we love our Gabber.
Yeah.
Oh, Nicole.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to say good night, everyone. We'll see you next week on Wednesday. So good night from everybody on the panel.
GG's. Good night. Thank you for
Good
watching.
night, y'all.
Bye.